Hey everyone, welcome to the video. We're looking at a few hits with Tiny Shock today, and that did get us to Diamond with this account. And we did take the secret path kind of straight towards 5ER, so we skipped a bunch of stuff like Smoke, just got GB hitting Diamond, so we didn't have it while pushing. And it was a bit of a struggle with just Tiny Shock. It's really that troop health that helped push us to full clear bases. And we also picked up building health since we were losing to other secret players like 4ER, so it helped us win on time. But we can look at a few hits, maybe some spread out dirty bases. And on these style bases, it's really tough without Tiny Shock since you have the SLs really spread out. Because on the compacts, at least you can distract both of them at once with a critter. But here we sort of like going from just one side. So we start off with a few Seeks on the right, Tiny Shock and Cryo Bomb. That Doom Cannon's also in range, so we Tiny Shock it. And we do a few Seekers first, since if you do all of them, they usually like to spread around this gap. So instead we like just putting them on the right. And as they go up, we do another Cryo Bomb, trying to time it so we get the full 10 seconds of slow. Because even slowed down buildings, they do damage, and want to make sure the Seeks stay alive. We do one more Cryo Bomb, and this hit even gets pretty close. And one more Tiny and a critter, and we barely get it down. And a similar hit against base without Doom Cannon, but we still hit it the same way, using a few Seeks to start, killing this ER, start Tiny Shocking that shock launcher, and it's a full 30 seconds, so once you Tiny it, you usually don't need a second shock. And as it start hitting the ER, you can drop the other boats. And again, doing the same thing. Another Cryo Bomb, as the Seeks go closer to maybe another one. It kind of serves as a shock in this case. But instead of stunning defenses, it just slows them down. And once this ER goes down, we can just get the last ER. Another Tiny Shock. And like we said, we're facing other 4ER secret players, and those are pretty close hits. So only won by a few seconds. Because they also have offense like troop health and GBE, and at least when we were pushing, we didn't have all that tech. Because 5ER is a bit of a worse layout, to be honest. So we try going 5 from the right and delay dropping in most cases. It still is really close since, again, these players also have brick, which can help speed up the hit. So double Tiny Shock that flame. And these guys are also going fast. I think he might have used brick to try to solo an ER. Or in this case just battle order, since her abilities do affect Seekers. So again, just trying to speed up the hit. And looks like a delayed drop for this last ER. So that's why we picked up the building health, so makes them a bit slower on our base. And even faced another guy with shock launchers and shock mines. So that was only a few second win. But most of these without cannons, boom cannons, taking the same approach. 5 from the right, and as this ER is about to die, you can drop the other Seeks. And even though he has shock mines, we have Cryo Bomb, so it really takes care of them. That's why I don't really think it's a good idea to get shock mines at this point. Maybe at 5ER since it's a wider deck, but at 4 it's so small that I'm not sure shock mines have much of an impact. That's for the style we're hitting those kind of naked 4ER bases. And here's just another one. Again, going 5 from the middle, and then just as this ER goes down, we drop 3 from the left. Again, we have plenty of GB for Cryo Bombs and critters. As long as the mines are cleared, then Seek should stay alive. And we also face some compact 4s, and I think those are a bit more dicey, because even though you have troop health and Tiny Shock, those machine guns really do a lot of damage. So most of these hits we do a lead boat of Seekers, and as they get close we just Tiny Shock the SLs and the Doom Cannon. And we try to keep everything cryoed. So we have enough GB for 2 cryos. Each one lasts about 10 seconds, so you can kind of time it right. Maybe after like 7 seconds or something, you do another cryo bomb. And in this case, you can cryo your own seekers since the flames sort of uncryo them. Even these hits get pretty close. Here we got another compact. And yeah, without troop health, we're usually fizzling on these compacts, since those machine guns do a lot of damage again. That lead boat of seekers takes care of those shock mines, so you can almost ignore them. Because even if they hit those shock mines, there aren't really buildings to do damage, so it just delays them for a bit. And if you can full clear these compacts, it's usually a win on time. You can also tiny some machine guns, so also helps a bit. Especially the ones right next to seekers, because they do the most damage. And our boss fight was also a compact 4. And again, we're taking most of the same approach, but in this case, we went from the right side. Mainly because there were just a lot of machine guns on the left. So from the right, maybe it's a better angle. You have less machine guns right away. Again, we do a cry bomb as we get closer, and wait a few seconds for the next one. And I think eventually, as more people go 5ER, these compacts should be pretty easy with seekers. Since you're not doing much, you're just using some tiny shocks and cry bombs. Like when you didn't have shocks, you would have to time the critters right, but with a tiny shock, you can throw them super early and you have a full 30 seconds. And we still did face a 5ER, I think the only dirty 5 we faced. And that was pretty tough, since each ER also has extra health. And we got pretty close, trying the same method as a other dirty 4. Using a cryo and tiny shock. But since each ER has extra health, and there's another ER, it just takes a bit longer to full clear. Which means more time for defenses to do damage. So it still gets close. We have enough for another cryo. And I think if we had more GB, maybe we could tiny shock some machine guns. Because here we have a lot of damage on seekers. I think smoke would also help, because as they're walking they're taking damage. But it got pretty close, down to the last ER. So I think maybe GBE, and if not, that smoke should let us full clear those bases. And next steps with this account, well, we already picked up GBE, so might be picking up smoke next. And we do have this other TH we have to get, so might make our way towards that. I do think we'll need it eventually for more dirty 5ERs, because they can still get this 100 BH, and that should really add up. But otherwise, it'll be cool to see how meta develops next few days. Since now we have some people like us with tiny shock and troop health, but more dirty 5s are going to start showing, so might need more offense to back it up. It's kind of a race between the defense players and the pure seeker players. But see how it goes. That's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.